The Braves' magic number is down to 3, and the Braves' starting rotation might also be down to 3 as well. No more Cole Hamels this year. That experiment is done. Who are the Braves going to run out there in a playoff series?
Normally, in a playoff series, we're not super concerned about the fourth guy, but the twist on this year, because it's 2020, there has to be a twist in the playoffs, is they're not scheduling off days in between games because of the series being in central locations. There's no travel. So your fourth guy has to start. Unfortunately for the Braves, they don't really have a fourth guy right now. I guess Sean Newcomb and Fulte.
My theory is kind of just really turn the bullpen game theory on its head. Start Melanson, then go Green, Chris Martin, give your offense a chance to get a lead, which we don't see the Braves getting very many early leads, and then the rest of the bullpen, which has still been pretty good, has a chance to work its way through the rest of the game.
It's not your worst idea, Corey. It's kind of the reason I like Newcomb a little bit is because he's proven to be an effective reliever, so basically just treat him like another bullpen arm in a bullpen game.
And there is one way to avoid having to use the 4 starter in the NLDS.
What's that, Corey?
Sweep the series. 60 games, 6 inches, NL East Division Title Edition. Cam, the Braves have won the NL East 3 years in a row now, and this year is really special. They did it without so many key contributors.
You remember back in July when we thought the biggest obstacle the Braves would have to overcome was COVID? Turns out the biggest thing they had to overcome was a rotation that just was non-existent all season long. They got through the whole year with like 1.5 starting pitchers. If we want to harp on Anthopoulos for all the moves he did make to address the rotation, we have to give him credit for what he did to bolster up that bullpen. Signing Will Smith, making trades for Shane Green, Mark Melanson, Chris Martin. That bullpen has carried the team this year.
The Braves will absolutely lean on the bullpen in the postseason, but they will lean most on the lineup. MVP frontrunner Freddie Freeman, candidate coming up real close, Marcell Ozuna, Acuna, Ozzy's back, Dansby's been great. We've seen the value of having a big power bat hitting behind Freddie. Ozuna has taken that up another level, hitting for a high average.
Manager of the year has to be a lock as well. Brian Snitker has done more with the absolute least in baseball right now when we talk about the rotation and everything he had to navigate through to get to this division. Crown him already, and let's get on to the playoffs. Earlier this week, we tempted the sports gods of Atlanta by looking ahead to the playoffs before the Braves actually clinched. We wanted to take today to start looking at matchups of who the Braves might be getting in that first round of the wild card, looking at the possibilities. Who do you like, who do you not like?
Don't want the Cardinals. Just let's get that out there. The Braves have not fared well against the Cardinals in the postseason going back numerous years. It would be really kind of fun, maybe a little too nerve-wracking to face either the Phillies or the Marlins and have the NL East against the NL East. Really anyone except the Cardinals and Cincinnati, whichever Bauer, pitching really well.
So we can both agree that Cincinnati's the team nobody wants to face with that pitching rotation. I'm going to go the opposite direction. I want the Cardinals. I want the smoke this year. And it would just be super satisfying to get that monkey off your back after losing the way you did last year to have a chance to redeem yourself. The way the Braves are playing right now makes me a little bit more cocky, and I want that smoke.
See, now you got me hyped for the Braves redemption tour in the playoffs, man. I don't know if I can take that and then get up so high and then crash down so low.
It's a revenge tour, man. They're coming for everyone's necks this year. Give me the Cardinals again. Give us round 2. The Braves are going to hang 10 in the first inning of the first game, and it's going to be so much fun.
Now, y'all didn't think we were going to go the whole season without talking about the chop. It came up at the end of the NLDS last year. We haven't seen anything with it this year. So our question is, do we think we've seen the last of the chop?
Because there have been no fans in the stands this season, that's allowed the Braves to kind of kick the can down the road a little bit, and they haven't had to make a strong decision about it. And I'd be really shocked if they just completely phase it out.
The people who look like us, it's not for us to determine who's offended by this. Native Americans and their tribes and their communities are offended by this. That's something that the team and the organization has to honor and respect and make changes.
If you're going to take on the responsibility of making your team the name of an entire group of people, there are people in the Native American community that feel like the chop is offensive, or if it's appropriation, or if it's not a good representation of that culture. It's absolutely the Braves' responsibility to act on that and to not continue ignorantly do something that is being perceived very offensively.
Do we think that the chop needs to be kind of a lasting experience at a Braves game? I mean, there's so many more experiences to have at the ballpark.
The Braves are still going to be the Braves. The games are still going to be the same. If it makes things better in terms of the relationship between the Braves and the Native Americans they're representing, it's kind of a no-brainer. 60 games, 6 inches, episode 59. We waited till the very end, but we have our first actual in-Zoom guest, my dear friend, soon to be Casey Ruka. Welcome to the show. Happy to have you. Now that we're kind of at the end of the season, what's been your favorite memory from this season for the MLB?
Honestly, Cam, that's an easy one. The Joe Kelly show out. Have to say it. You just can't beat that. They have a mural up with him now. It's amazing.
Is Freddie Freeman your NL MVP choice, or do we have to let you go from this Zoom call?
He has showed up this season. Hit 2 grand slams back to back, but I feel like he would do better if he wore a big chain like Ronald Acuna or Marcell or Ozzy. I mean, it's all in the chain.
What would Freddie's chain be?
A Canadian maple leaf. Easily.
Last night, that walk-off homer against the Red Sox was really just kind of the cherry on top. That felt like his MVP moment.
He's leading in normal categories. He's leading in analytics categories. The other guys aren't really close.
A couple weeks ago, he flew in from a road trip to see his son's first t-ball practice, so we know he's the most valuable father. Now he's about to win the most valuable player.
60 games, 6 inches, episode 60, season finale. Cam, what a ride it's been.
Corey, it has been a long, winding journey. How did we get here?
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
I was about like 11 or 12 years old. I went to a Braves game with my dad. We saw Chipper Jones was signing autographs by the dugout before the game. So we sprint around to get there, elbow my way through some grown-ups, and as I'm like 3 people away from Chipper, and then he goes back into the dugout. And I'm like fighting back tears because this is my childhood hero. As I go back up to my dad, he tosses me a ball, and it was a Chipper signed ball. So he, without me looking, went and like reached over 5 people and got Chipper to sign a ball. A memory I'm never going to forget. A really cool thing that my dad and I are always going to have.
Jason Hayward's MLB debut was really, really special. I was there with my mom, and just the anticipation of his debut, what he did on his first swing, being able to just kind of go delirious with my mom. Just as much as the experience we have, it's all about who we have them with. Cam, your dad, me, my mom.
Well, it's not goodbye. It's see you later. We are going to be coming back for the playoffs.